The American railroads revolutionized transportation to the West. The railroads aided economic development, united California and Nevada with the rest of the nation, and expanded the American dream, and gave new freedom to Americans. And railroad workers would become American folk heroes. Today we'll examine the pocket watches that kept the trains of America running. Railroad watches were known as standard watches because they met the railroad standards of timekeeping. As the rail industry grew in the United States, the number of active trains grew with it. In order to use the track effectively, companies needed to create time schedules, identifying when each section of the track was safe to use. The timekeeping accuracy of the conductor's watch was crucial if two trains were moving in opposite directions. Train dispatchers, conductors, engine men, brakemen, yard masters, and foremen were required to equip themselves with approved railway standard watches. By the 1880s, most railroad companies had established standards, and some had listed approved models, such as Waltham's 1883 model Crescent Street grade and Elgin's B.W. Raymond. And in 1885, the General Time Convention worked to develop a standard code of railroad operating rules, an industry code that's still in use today. An iconic feature of railroad watches is their big, bold, black Arabic numerals on highly contrasting white enameled dials with large, bold hands. This allowed the time to be told clearly and as easily as possible. Many individuals would agree that the railroad watch dials were some of the most beautiful faces ever placed on pocket watches. Mechanically speaking, most of the post-1900s railroad watches shared a number of performance and reliability enhancements. Most had a fixed regulator, a double roller balance wheel to avoid going out of action, and of course more than 19 jewels to reduce friction and increase the consistency of greater gear train. Many railroad watches had solid gold or gold-plated gear trains. A popular pocket watch was made by Hamilton. Hamilton would go on to make pocket watches for the railroads from 1900 to 1968. The Illinois Watch Company would produce an extensive line of extremely fine and accurate railroad pocket watches like the Sangamo, the Bunn Special, and the Santa Fe Special. The pocket watch was a necessity for the success of the American railroad. But just as the railroad was replaced by the airplane and the automobile, pocket watches were eventually replaced by the wristwatch. But the railroad watches, the companies that made them, and the men who worked the railroads will forever be cemented in American history. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned a thing or two. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.